Stop. You are likely being underpaid by thousands every single month while the max benefit stays locked behind a door you didn't even know existed. While a few elite recipients draw a staggering $5,018, the average disabled worker is left scraping by on just $1,137. If you click away now, you are effectively leaving a fortune on the table and surrendering your financial future to a system designed to pay you the bare minimum. At the 15-minute mark, I am revealing the earnings gap loophole that shifts everything. Smash that like button if you're ready for the truth. The average worker today is navigating a financial minefield, unaware that the difference between a survival-level check and a life-changing benefit lies in a series of complex formulas and invisible thresholds that the Social Security Administration rarely explains in plain English. Most people believe that once they are approved for disability, their fate is sealed and their monthly amount is set in stone, but that is a dangerous misconception that keeps millions in a state of perpetual struggle. We are currently seeing a massive divide where the maximum possible benefit for 2026 has climbed to an incredible $5,018 per month for those who qualify at full retirement age, yet the vast majority of disabled workers are pulling in a fraction of that, often between $1,137 and $1,630. This gap isn't just a matter of bad luck or low wages. It is the result of specific administrative triggers and calculation methods that can be optimized if you know where to look. By the end of this deep dive, you will understand exactly why the system is paying you what it is, and more importantly, the specific steps you can take to ensure you aren't leaving a single dollar on the table. Chapter 1. The Invisible Wall of the AIME Formula. To understand why your check looks the way it does, we first have to dismantle the myth that SSDI is a standard flat-rate payment. The government uses a calculation known as the Average Indexed Monthly Earnings, or AIME, which takes your highest earning years and adjusts them for inflation to determine your base benefit. This is where most people hit their first invisible wall because they don't realize that years of low earnings or periods of unemployment are dragging their average down, effectively diluting the value of their hard-earned credits. If you've had a career with fluctuating income, the SSA's formula might be punishing you for those gap years without you even realizing it. But here is the burning question. If your work history is already set in the past, is there any way to overwrite those low-earning years to boost your current monthly check? The answer involves a little-known technicality regarding earnings dropout years that we will be digging into very shortly, as it represents the first major shift in how you view your benefits. Many recipients find themselves trapped in a cycle of poverty because they don't understand that the primary insurance amount is calculated using bend points that favor lower earners but strictly cap the growth for everyone else. This means that even if you earned a decent salary, the system is designed to replace a smaller percentage of your income the higher you go, creating a plateau effect that leaves middle-class workers feeling the tightest squeeze. You might be sitting on a gold mine of back pay or underpaid adjustments simply because the SSA used the wrong indexing year for your specific case, a clerical error that happens more often than the agency would like to admit. I'm going to show you exactly how to audit your own earnings record later in this video to spot these discrepancies before they cost you thousands. But as we look at these numbers, a more urgent mystery emerges. Why are some people receiving the absolute maximum while you are stuck at the average? And is it possible to bridge that gap even after you've been approved? Chapter 2. The $3,500 Disconnect and the Work Credit Trap. The staggering disconnect between the $1,580 average and the $5,018 maximum often comes down to the 20/40 rule, a strict eligibility requirement that mandates you must have worked 5 out of the last 10 years leading up to your disability. However, the real hidden detail here isn't just about qualifying. It's about how the timing of your onset date can drastically change your monthly payout. If the SSA pushes your onset date back even by a few months, they could be stripping away your highest earning year from the calculation, effectively locking you into a lower payment tier for the rest of your life. This is a high-stakes game of administrative chess, where one wrong date on a form can result in a permanent 10% to 15% reduction in your lifetime wealth. We are going to explore a realignment strategy that legal experts use to challenge these dates. But first, we have to address the elephant in the room, the 2.8% COLA increase for 2026. While a 2.8% raise sounds like a win on paper, for many, it is a phantom increase that disappears before it even hits their bank account. This happens because Medicare Part B premiums are often hiked simultaneously, sometimes swallowing up the entirety of the cost of living adjustment. For 2026, we are seeing standard premiums rise significantly, meaning that average $44 increase might actually net you only $26 in real-world spending power. It's a systemic tax on the disabled that forces you to run faster just to stay in the same place. This raises a new, urgent question. If the COLA isn't enough to save your budget, are there secondary programs like the Medicare Savings Program or Extra Help that can actually recapture that lost money? The answer is a resounding yes, but the application process is a separate nightmare that most people give up on. Stay tuned because the earnings gap loophole I mentioned earlier actually provides a way to circumvent some of these income limits entirely. Chapter 3: The SGA Danger Zone and the Trial Work Secret. If you've ever thought about earning a little extra money on the side to supplement your meager SSDI check, you are walking into the Substantial Gainful Activity, or SGA Danger Zone. For 2026, the limit is $1,690 for non-blind individuals, and crossing this by even $1 can trigger a continuing disability review that could end your benefits forever. However, there is a trial work period secret that acts as a 9-month get-out-of-jail-free card, allowing you to earn unlimited income while still receiving your full SSDI check. The catch? Most people don't know that these 9 months don't have to be consecutive, and the SSA keeps a running, rolling 60-month window that can trap you if you aren't tracking your trial work months with surgical precision. If you lose track, you could find yourself hit with an overpayment notice for $20,000 or more, a soul-crushing debt that the government will collect by garnishing your entire check until it's paid back. The fear of these overpayments keeps many recipients from ever trying to improve their situation, which is exactly how the system stays stable at your expense. But what if I told you there's a way to use impairment-related work expenses to lower your countable income, allowing you to earn well above the SGA limit without losing a cent of your benefits? This is one of the most powerful yet underutilized tools in the SSA handbook. Whether it's the cost of medications, specialized transportation, or even certain home modifications, these expenses can be deducted from your gross earnings to keep you safely under the $1,690 threshold. This deduction loophole is the key to financial independence for many, but the SSA won't apply it for you. You have to demand it. This leads us to an even bigger revelation. As we approach the 15-minute mark, we are nearing the earnings gap loophole that explains how some people are able to reset their benefit levels entirely. Chapter 4: The 15-minute revelation, the earnings gap loophole. We have finally reached the climax of our deep dive, and it's time to expose the earnings gap loophole that separates the $1,500 survivors from the $5,000 thrivers. The big promise of this video is understanding how to maximize your available funds, and it starts with the family maximum rule. Many disabled workers are unaware that if they have dependent children or a spouse caring for those children, they are entitled to an additional 50% to 80% of their base benefit in auxiliary benefits. This isn't money taken away from your check. It is additional money added on top of it. If you are a disabled worker with 2 children and you aren't drawing auxiliary payments, you are essentially donating thousands of dollars back to the government every single year. This is the hidden detail that moves a family from the $1,600 average to a much more livable $2,900 or $3,000 per month. But the loophole goes even deeper for those who are approaching full retirement age. There is a specific strategy called application withdrawal and refiling that is high risk but high reward. If your health has stabilized or you have returned to high-level work for a brief period, you can actually re-index your lifetime earnings. By essentially starting over at a higher income bracket, you can force the SSA to recalculate your benefit based on your new high-earning years, potentially jumping your monthly payment by $1,000 or more. This is the nuclear option of disability planning, and it requires a level of precision that most people can't handle without an expert. But for those who are currently stuck at the 1,537 average, understanding that your benefit isn't frozen is the first step toward true financial liberation. The question now is, how do you actually trigger these changes without getting your claim denied in the process? Chapter 5. Delivering the Big Promise, Your Blueprint to 5018. The final piece of the puzzle, the big promise you've been waiting for, is the realization that the 5018 maximum is not a dream. It is a mathematical target. To reach it, or even to get close to it, you must understand the delayed retirement credit equivalent in the disability world. While you cannot delay a disability claim to increase it like you can with retirement, you can use the frozen earnings period to your advantage. When the SSA freezes your earnings record at the time of disability, it prevents those zero income years from dragging down your average. If you can prove an earlier onset date through a reopening of a prior claim, you can retroactively freeze your record at a higher earning point, resulting in a massive back paycheck and a permanent monthly increase. This is the truth the system doesn't want you to know. The average payment is only average because most people accept the first number the SSA gives them. To secure your future, you must act as your own advocate. You must audit your Social Security statement for missing earnings, challenge your onset date with medical evidence that proves your disability began when your income was at its peak, and relentlessly pursue auxiliary benefits for every eligible family member. The difference between 1,880 and 5,018 isn't just work history. It's the mastery of the administrative rules that govern your life. You now have the blueprint to stop being a passive recipient and start being an active manager of your federal benefits. The system is designed to be a safety net, but it's up to you to make sure that net is woven with the highest possible value. You've stayed until the end, you've seen the truth, and now the power is in your hands to claim every dollar you deserve. Chapter 6. The Action Phase. Don't leave your money on the table. Now that we've broken down the barriers, you must realize that information without action is just a missed opportunity. The system is counting on you to be overwhelmed by the paperwork and intimidated by the bureaucracy, but every single day you wait is a day of lost potential. You have the numbers, you have the loopholes, and you have the authority to demand what is yours. Start by gathering your latest medical records and cross-referencing them with your work history. Look for those peak earning years that might have been overlooked. If you have children or a spouse, their potential auxiliary benefits are not just a luxury. They are a legal entitlement that can double your household income overnight. This is about more than just a check. It's about the dignity and security you earned through years of paying into a system that is finally being called to account. The path to the maximum benefit isn't reserved for the lucky. It is paved for the persistent. By auditing your own files, challenging the Social Security Administration's initial determinations, and staying within the safety of the SGA limits while maximizing your earnings through impairment-related work expenses, you are transforming your financial landscape. You aren't just a recipient anymore. You are a strategist. This deep dive has given you the keys to a kingdom most people don't even know exists. Now, go out there and claim your future. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know. What is the number one thing the SSA is currently getting wrong on your benefit check? Let's start a conversation and help each other navigate this maze. If this information gave you the clarity you've been looking for, subscribe to the channel right now and hit the bell icon so you never miss a life-changing update. Don't forget to share this video with one person who needs to see the truth. Let's make sure no one is left behind.